Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you and welcome to this session. Please let me know if I am clearly audible and visible to all of you. Okay. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. So, if you are new here, my name is Niharika John Mehra. I'm your faculty of English, and I'm here with another article today, which is an editorial from the Hindu. Now, for those who are wondering my schedule here, so my classes here are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday. We have a practice class going on, and it is at 1:30 p.m. on these days. Okay, and 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. My classes here are going on where we are doing editorial analysis. So we have skimming first of all here that we practice, we learn. Then we do vocab, we do grammar part, we go through some rules, revise some rules, see how they are applicable and how they are applied in a sentence, and if you are able to spot it or not. Okay, then we do some questions, MCQs, and there is a lot for all of you, especially those who have some kind of time crunch and you want to make sure that you don't miss out on English as a subject because usko bhi prepare karna hai. This is a go to session for all of you. तो जल्दी से लाइक और शेयर कर दो. टुडे वी हैव अ शॉर्टर version here, a short editorial compared to what we usually do, but this is an important one. It's a hot topic going on all around the country and in fact internationally. You can guess from the title very well. Okay, तो हम सबसे पहले क्या करने वाले हैं? We will do skimming, which is the art of reading speedily in the way you understand and comprehend at least the essence of the article of a passage is conveyed to you. तो आपका फोकस होगा मेनली सब्जेक्ट्स पर और वर्ब्स पर, एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू रिलेट कि ये वर्ब का मेन किससे कनेक्शन है आगे. You don't have to read each and every word in a very thorough manner. If there is a title and the name given, you can read either of them. If there are numbers mentioned, you don't need to uh, pronounce that figure in your mind, okay, because that takes time. छोटी छोटी जगह टाइम बचाएंगे हम, and you will get a timer of 2.5 minutes to read the whole article, which is more than sufficient for you all. We would want to increase the speed, but as of now क्योंकि हमारे students बहुत new भी हैं, बहुत advanced भी हैं, beginners भी हैं, so we are keeping it to an average of 2.5 minutes. I will scroll for you. यहाँ पे हम start करते हैं timer. Now it's your time to skim. रीडिंग डेप्थ में नहीं करना है, लिपसिंग नहीं करोगे, होठ नहीं हिलने चाहिए. टेक एन इमेज ऑफ द सेंटेंस और द few sentence maybe and try and understand that. Also try and understand this thing in English itself. It is the. Once you're done reading, if in one line you can brief me, if you can give me the summary of this article, that would be great. Okay, 5 extra seconds given to you guys. Fine. So if you can give me one liner summary for this one, it would be great. Okay. Now there are topics like this where अभी मैं आपसे सिर्फ एग्जाम एंगल से बात कर रही हूँ. Okay, I don't want to get into this debate of the whole case. Okay, what is in front of me, I only want to talk about it. Now such topics may come with a lot of extra information in your mind. Same thing can happen in the exam as well. There is a topic, an RC, maybe a Pressy passages given to you, and it is a very familiar topic because you have vast knowledge, in-depth knowledge about it. We need to stay focused in exam, and we need to make sure what is in front of me, I read only that thing. It may be incorrect, it may be biased, it may not sound in line with your thoughts, doesn't matter. In the exam, whatever you are given, follow that and answer your question. That's it. That's your job. So right now, as I'm explaining, I'm gonna do the same thing. जो लिखा है बस मैं उसे explain कर रही हूँ, because we can have various opinions on the whole incident, and I don't want to get into it right now. Okay, so unity and resolve. On the Pahalgam terror attack, India must remain firm and focused in the face of terror. So there is, of course, a suggestion here, probably towards the end of the article, because author is saying India must remain firm and focused. So with respect to terror, when we see हमें क्या करना है, इंडिया को क्या करना है, author is talking about that particular thing. As I corrected here, T is missing, it is the. Okay, so the massacre of 26 people, most of them tourists, in Pahalgam, Kashmir, by Islamist terrorists has jolted the conscience of the nation and the world. So this is how you break a news. Okay, कुछ हुआ, आपको वो बताना है, and because of this, we simply need to mention what happened. Jolted means just like a jolt, it shook the world and the nation. It is a tragic reminder of the constant threat of terrorism, which strikes without warning at innocent civilians. So, this is a classic example of terrorism where innocent lives are lost. The mind numbing reports, that means the reports which are overwhelming, they are not easy to take in, to absorb. It's that kind of news. So the mind numbing reports of the attackers, identifying victims by religion before executing them at close range. At close range means दूर से नहीं, पास से गोली चलाना. At close range, mark a new low. Marking a new low means it is setting a new standard which is not a high standard. इतना नीचे गिर सकता है कोई in the history of Pakistan sponsored terrorism. Okay, so this is what author is saying here. Home Minister Amit Shah. Now in your mind, of course, you all might be knowing the name of our Home Minister. So you can either read Amit Shah in your mind or just his position title और आगे बढ़ो. So who visited the attack site asserted, उन्होंने इस बात पर जोर डाला that Bharat won't bend to terrorism. So we won't kneel down to terrorism. That means there will be action. While PM Narendra Modi curtailed his visits to Saudi Arabia to return to New Delhi. एक तरफ हम देखते हैं he visited, Home Minister visited the attack site, and now other important person, of course our PM, he reduced his visit. He might be there for a longer period to Saudi Arabia, but he reduced it, he curtailed it, and he is back to New Delhi. India must speak in one voice in this period of national calamity. Author is saying India should stand as one, unity. It is imperative to avoid internal divisions that could threaten social cohesion, which is actually author is highlighting here. Okay, again, I'm not going to give my view. What he's saying is we should not let this incident disrupt internal peace of society in India. The unity of people, Indian people, is the most potent antidote to terror instigated from across the border. So any antidote is a remedy, कोई चीज जो neutralize करेगी. What is that remedy? Remedy is we stay united at any cost. As Indians, all of us, irrespective of our caste, religion, etc., we need to stay united. And this is the most potent, most powerful remedy, antidote to terror, that is that is instigated, that is pushed in our lives from across the border. Amid the horror, a local Muslim man tried to shield the tourists, sorry, but lost his own life in the process. Here he is given an example that a local Muslim man, he tried to shield the tourists, and at the cost of his own life. Widespread protests across Kashmir following the incident also signaled a rejection of such violence by ordinary citizens. There were some protests going on across Kashmir following this incident, also signaled a rejection that they would not like to be a part of the whole thing by ordinary citizens. They are against it, of course. The victims hailed from all parts of India, reflecting the diversity of those who were drawn to Kashmir as it re-emerged as a favored tourist destination. Kashmir started again to become a good hotspot for tourism, but then we get to see this thing because the victims were from all over India. The attack was disrupted, that the attack has disrupted not just lives but also livelihoods. So it is not just about the lives of the victims but also the livelihoods in a region economically dependent on tourism. So a big share of Kashmir, we see a big part of GDP is through tourism, and this is what is another setback that we are gonna see, that the livelihoods of people over there that are affected. आगे देखते हैं क्या बोल रहा है author. New Delhi's response must address the people of Kashmir. New Delhi's response, of course, center क्या बोल रहा है? The broader Indian public, Pakistan, and international community. Since 2019, India has followed a new policy approach in Kashmir. So there has been new policy approach, strengthening infra and connectivity to integrate the region more closely with rest of the country. So there were some protocols according to this new policy. It was to strengthen the infra and connectivity to bring Kashmir more into the closer group with the rest of the country. With yet the broader global environment has grown more volatile. नाजुक हो गया है यहाँ पे. Anything can happen at any time. With internal instability and international conflicts on the rise. International conflicts on the rise है, internal भी instability है. India's strategy must be guided by realism. Now this is important. This is where author is now suggesting something. India's strategy should be something that is guided by realism, grounded in national interest. We have to be realistic, we have to be practical. It should be grounded in national interest and devoid of empty rhetoric as it seeks to isolate Pakistan, whose export of terrorism is predicted on the two-nation theory and Hindu-Muslim hostility. So author is saying we need to be practical. Now we need to be practical. Why? Because we do get to see that sometimes emotions can take over, sometimes other things can take over. But in this kind of situation, we need to be realistic and devoid of empty rhetoric. खोखले वादे, खोखली स्टोरीज, ऐसी चीजें जो कि प्रोडक्टिव नहीं है एंड सोल्यूशन नहीं लेकर आ रही. वी हैव टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम इट. ओके. The national resolve must be firm and focused. So our way out, or our way to not retaliate, but our stand must be firm and focused in the face of terror, as government does everything possible to swiftly bring the perpetrators to justice. So we need to make sure that the internal peace is not disturbed, but as a country, as a nation, we stand together, and those who are the culprits, who are perpetrators, those who are the offenders they are brought to justice. We need to make sure that happens. Okay, so this is what author is saying here. Let's do some vocabulary and then we will get back to the grammar part. Massacre is the deliberate and brutal killing of many people, slaughter and carnage. है ना, नरसंहार. हमने सभी ने ये हिस्ट्री के अपने बुक्स में बहुत बार पढ़ा होगा. Massacre, okay, it's brutal killing of multiple people. Jolted, shocked or disturbed suddenly, violently, हिला के रख देना, rattle, shaken, झटका देना. Anything which is mind numbing is extremely shocking. Mostly it is, in a negative way, or in a way where it's not like surprise, I'm so happy you are here. No, not that kind of thing. Mind numbing is कि दिल दहला देने वाला, निशब्द स्तब्ध कर देने वाला, पैरालाइजिंग, यू डोंट इवन हैव वर्ड्स टू एक्सप्रेस कितना बुरा हुआ. कॉन्शियंस इज मॉरल अवेयरनेस एंड सेंस ऑफ राइट एंड रॉन्ग, जो हमारे मॉरल्स, अंतरात्मा की आवाज़ होती है, मॉरल कंपास जिसे कहा जाता है. कर्टल, किसी चीज़ को कम करना, शॉर्टन करना, cutting short, reducing. Cohesion is unity, as in among individuals, among groups, among societies. Solidarity, ekata, unity. Okay. Antidote to anything is a counter force or a remedy, especially against that is harmful. किसी चीज का तोड़, किसी चीज के प्रति एक समाधान, न्यूट्रलाइजर, रेमेडी. Anything that is volatile is likely to change rapidly and unpredictably. बहुत ही अनस्टेबिलिटी है, and you cannot predict how unstable it could go or how stable it can become, है ना, turbulence जैसे. Predicated on, that is, it is based on or founded upon something, किसी चीज़ पे आधारित होना, predicated होना. Perpetrators, those who commit a crime or harmful act. Of course किसी भी offender को, culprit को perpetrator कहा जाता है. This is more of a formal vocabulary given to those जो कि दोषी व्यक्ति होते हैं. Okay. Part of speech of this word. Part of speech of this word. It is a verb. Could threaten. कोई भी modal verb हो, it will definitely take a verb with it. So this is a verb. Okay. Next question. Part of speech of this word here in this sentence. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, guys. This is a gerund because if you ask this question, which strikes without what, it without is a preposition. So without what का answer हमेशा noun होता है. But if noun, exact noun is missing, we use verb in its ing form as noun. तो वो यहाँ पर use हुआ है. So this is not an verb form acting as adjective or not main verb. It is the gerund over here. Okay, it's a gerund. Now this is a revision for you people. Next thing that I'm gonna tell. So we see rule of parallelism working in a sentence here beautifully. Not just but also. Not just को not only भी बोला जाता है. So the attack has disrupted not just lives, that is noun, but also livelihoods, that is another noun. So we see जब भी ऐसे पेयर वाले connectors use होते हैं, not only but also, both, and, from, to, we check for parallelism, and that means कि एक के पास में जैसा जो भी word है, it could be a verb, it could be a noun, it could be an adjective. Same goes with the second pair as well, second element of the pair as well. So आपको ये ध्यान रखना, you have to check this thing in your exams as well. Moving on to the next question. Okay, so Part of speech. It's an adjective. Okay. Violence noun है, and such adjective can be used with a noun that is countable or uncountable. So उसके लिए चिंता नहीं करना. Okay. I have a next question for all of you. You need to tell me the connector used here and for what purpose. Okay. The connector or a conjunction that we get to see in this sentence I have marked, and for what purpose, क्यों उसको use करा गया है. Anyone? Okay, so while is the connector. Now, when we use while, there are two purposes that we find. First one is when two things are in contrast. But we don't get to see in a contrast. We see one side, on one hand, we have Home Minister doing something. On the other hand, there is a PM doing something. अपने अपने लेवल पे अपना अपना काम कर रहे हैं. So when two things are happening in the same time period or parallelly, then we use, then we, that is another case, the second purpose where we use while as a connector, as a conjunction. और ये आपको कनेक्टर के क्वेश्चन में बड़े काम में आने वाला है. तो यहाँ पे while उस रीजन से यूज हुआ है. ओके, the last question and then we move to summary and some other questions. Part of speech of this word. This is interesting. I want to see how many of you get it right. Okay. So how do we check this? Okay. The national resolve must be firm. This is adjective. Okay. And must be kaisa, must be focused. So verb third form as adjective. It is not your main verb form, because अगर main verb होता तो focus as a verb will take on after it. Point number one. Second point, that यहाँ पे parallelism disturb हो जाता. After any modal verb, अगर be लगा है, you can get adjective. It is not necessary that you have to have a verb, क्योंकि action नहीं हो रहा है. Resolve को खुद को firm and focused होना है. Okay, and focus is from both the families. So that's the reason यहाँ पे हम जो यूज कर रहे हैं एडजेक्टिव की तरफ से यूज कर रहे हैं. सो गुड जॉब, हु गॉट इट राइट. चलो समरी देखते हैं जल्दी से. सो द ब्रूटल किलिंग ऑफ 26 सिविलियंस, ऑफ कोर्स वी नो मोर देन दैट, बट देन ओल्ड आर्टिकल जस्ट इग्नोर. Mostly tourists in Pahalgam, Kashmir has shocked the nation and reaffirmed the persistent threat of cross-border terrorism. So we have seen the constant, persistent threat, and it has reaffirmed it. Especially Pakistan-backed extremism. The attackers reportedly selected victims, reportedly, allegedly, the attackers selected victims by religion, further exposing the ideological underpinnings of the violence. So violence के बीच में उन्होंने ये religion वाला angle भी लेकर आए, reportedly. The editorial urges, now author is focused more upon what we can do, what we should do, rather than playing the blame game and all. So editorial urges national unity as a strongest response to such acts and warns against internal division, emphasizing the symbolic bravery of local Kashmirs who stood against the attackers. So author is of course saying that in such a time it is important we preserve our unity, we work in tandem, in unity, as one force, and that is the strongest response as per now that we can show, we can give. And we can also see an example of local Kashmiri who gave his life in protection, in the way he was protecting other tourists. So India must act decisively yet diplomatically. Author is saying it should not haste. We have to make sure that we are in a right mindset, avoiding empty rhetoric while isolating Pakistan and bringing the perpetrators to justice. We need to focus on how to bring them to justice, those who were the culprits. A balanced, realistic, and people focused response is needed. We need to think about our people. It should not destroy our internal peace while trying to get justice done. तो वो यहाँ पे author बोल रहा है. Now, of course, essays and descriptive angle goes like this. India's national security and threat of cross-border terrorism. Okay, international peace के ऊपर भी अगर आता है तो you can include this piece of information as an example. Unity in diversity, social cohesion in time of crisis. How do we maintain it? What do we do? How don't we get divided? uh, tourism, terror, and future of Kashmir. थोड़ा specific है, but still can be asked. The role of diplomacy and security in combating terrorism, how to work it out, and solidarity, civilian solidarity as resistance to extremism. What civilians in unity can do about it. First question. Answer is C. According to editorial, what is India's strongest response? Unity and social cohesion. I will be very careful today in scrolling. Answer is C again. The message that editorial suggests should be avoided in the India's response, avoided is empty political rhetoric lacking actionable strategy. Okay, खोखले वादे खोखली बातों से दूर रहें. Hmm. Fourth one, third one, pardon me, third question. Answer is D. So, which of the following is not mentioned as a component of India's multi-layered response? So, in the second paragraph of the article, we saw, of course, unity to hai, outreach to international community, that is also mentioned, and diplomatic pressure on Pakistan, वो भी mentioned है. Constitutional amendments को mention नहीं करा है. It was a straightforward question. थोड़ा सा आपको याद रखने की नीड थी. I'll quickly show you. See, response must address people of Kashmir, broader Indian public, Pakistan, international community, new policy approach. तो आपको थोड़ा बहुत आगे पढ़ोगे तो समझ में आ जाएगा. D is not given, whereas बाकी A, B, C given थे. Next. Answer is B. What aspect of Pakistan's policy does editorial blame for supporting terrorism? It is the export of terrorism based on communal hostility. Clearly mentioned है. तो C और D तो बहुत easily eliminate कर सकते थे आप. Mm-hmm. So for the fifth one, answer is C. How does the editorial view reaction of Kashmir's local population? Defiant, rejecting terrorism, being protective, जो एग्जाम्पल दिया था. तो उसी के लिए कुछ एडजेक्टिव्स आपके सामने यहाँ पर हैं. एरर डिटेक्शन. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Anyone? Answer. Quick. इन द फेस ऑफ, हमने ये 2 बार पढ़ा है हमारे आज के आर्टिकल में. दैट्स हाउ यू लर्न सम फ्रेजेस, यू नो. So, the unity of Indian citizens, the unity is a stronger weapon than military retaliation, stronger because we are comparing. In the face of, that's the phrase, in the face of, with respect to cross border terror. Okay, terror होता है, terrorism होता है, एक ही बात है. So the error was in the phrase. Anyone else? Give it a shot. I would like to see. The local man's brave act. Bingo. Who tried to shield 2 plus v1, not shielding. Okay, this is not the case where we are gonna use a gerund. So try ke baad I'm trying to call you, I'm trying to tell you something. He was trying to force me to do this thing. Now whenever you use the word try and then you mention any other action, another thing that you want a person to do or you are doing, 2 plus v1 is used, not a gerund. Okay, so try to shield the tourist. This act was act के साथ का was a poignant reminder of humanity amid hate. Oh, you guys are sure that is the answer? Okay. See, so there are two things which we are always very careful about. First, tenses, no unnecessary change in tense unless and until you have a good reason. Same goes for nouns from singular to plural or plural to singular. Okay. So when we talk about the word rhetoric, is the answer here. Rhetoric is the kind of स्पीच और डिलीवरी ऑफ वर्ड्स जो बड़ी बड़ी बातें होती हैं, है ना? तो रेटोरिक्स नहीं, रेटोरिक होगा क्योंकि वो सिंपल सा अनकाउंटेबल वर्ड है. तो इंडियाज रिस्पॉन्स मस्ट रिमेन फर्म, फोकस्ड, ग्राउंडेड, ऑल आर दी एडजेक्टिव्स इन रियलिज्म रादर देन हॉलो पॉलिटिकल रेटोरिक. रेटोरिक्स नहीं होगा, अनकाउंटेबल नाउन. नेक्स्ट. You guys are waiting for E to be an answer. Is it like that? Kitna E? This should be easy. Okay. So answer to this one is D. Despite the violence, despite हमेशा check करना. Sometimes to confuse to introduce there are of दे देते हैं इसके साथ में. So despite the violence, people across the region faced. That's the first verb, second form. First verb in the sentence. People across the region staged protests, calling for peace, and denounced. Verb second form. Parallelism. So they staged protests, protest को करा, calling for peace, demanding peace, and denounced extremism. So D part had error. Parallelism के according, this verb should also be in the same form as of the first verb of the sentence. Next one, that's the last one. It's okay. You continue coming to the classes, you will be through with your grammar. At least 10 points of grammar, 5 in the questions of error detection and 5 questions that I ask in the passage. So 10 चीजें आपकी grammar की daily हो रही हैं यहाँ पे. This will help you to sharpen your grammar, to polish your grammar. If you have completed a grammar course or our classes from the course, once that is enough. Now you simply need to put things into practice. Answer to this one is E. This time, actually, there is no error. So the attack has disrupted not just the lives of innocent civilians, but sometimes, but is okay. It's used in the place of but also, and it's totally fine. तो उसके ऊपर नहीं आएंगे. But the region's economy as well. Okay. So there you go. No issue. Nothing is wrong in the fifth statement. There we go. We are done here. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. A lot to be covered just in one session. So it's a daily heavy dose of English for all of you. Continue attending the classes and stay on the top of the game. That's what we want for our exams, है ना? So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.